Okay, so now before we get into video number 2, let me just emphasize clearly, this is a new period style, Venetian Renaissance. So on your exams, for identifying period style, you're not going to just say Renaissance, and you're not going to call it Italian Renaissance, early Italian Renaissance, high Italian Renaissance. No, it's Venetian Renaissance. That's how they would want to be distinguished. That's how we're going to distinguish them. Okay, now, our next work. This is by Andrea Palladio, and it is a structure called the Villa Rotonda. It is off the main island city of Venice. It's in the main land called Vicenza. So it's an area called Vicenza. Here it stands. It's called the Villa Rotonda because it is a rounded dome, and the dome is over the center of the structure. Now, let me tell you a little bit more about the architect before we move on. His name, oh, here. Here's the map. So just to let you see, there's Venice. We're going to move off to Vicenza. I'm so distracted because I have so much to say about Venice. So one of the reasons why Venice controls a large portion of this mainland is because, well, to keep the city of Venice alive and thriving, it needs to rely on farmland outside of its little tiny island. So places like Vicenza serve as a place for these grand mansions, these vacation homes, but you can also see here it's placed on a hill in front of an orchard. So they also provide the food for the rest of the Republic. Look at that. Now, perfect view to let you see why it's called the Villa Rotonda. Ooh, I changed my caption here. You see that? It says Villa Capra. It's because one of the second or third owners of this was the Capra family, and so they renamed it Villa Capra. I put that in just because sometimes when you look online, you're going to see it referred to as Villa Capra or Villa Rotonda. It's really the Villa Rotonda. Everybody knows it as such. What's a villa? A villa is your next vocabulary term. A villa is a country house on a large estate. Now, the architect, Palladio, he had been well trained in the classical Greek and Roman principles of architecture, and one of the reigning forms of architecture were these villas, these country houses. The Romans loved country houses. All the emperors, all the nobility had these small, or not small, these mansions in the countryside. You can see it here. So it rests on top of this hill and it overlooks the town of Vicenza. So was this Palladio a smart guy? Yeah, there he is. Look at our Palladio. Palladio was trained as an architect and well versed in the Renaissance principles, Vitruvius, the ideas of perfect circles and perfect squares, and he started his career with these villas. He designed and had built over 30 villas around Italy. And sadly, only 19 of the villas still stand, and many of them have been remodeled and don't resemble anything like the plans of Palladio's. But you can almost immediately recognize Palladio's references to the past. Here is Palladio and the Villa Rotonda, and here is the Pantheon, that Roman temple. It's located in Rome, and it's one of the best preserved ancient Roman temples. It also has a dome and a temple front. Look at that. The pediment, the columns, dome, pediments, columns. Oh. It's remarkably similar to the ancient Greek and ancient Roman pediments and temple fronts. And it is a beautiful example of perfect circles and perfect squares. A la Vitruvius. Yes, Vitruvius. We know perfect world is perfect circles and perfect squares. You can see the squares here. You can see the balance of either side. In fact, what's crazy about this is that it's completely balanced on all four sides. Did you notice that? Every single side is exactly the same. There is no front, there is no back. All is balanced, all is equal, all is logical, all is Vitruvius. There we go. Look at that. Look at that perfect square. Dang! Here's the floor plan of it. So that dome is over the center. There are small spiral staircases that go up to a gallery level, and then the rest of the structure, you can see the floor plan below. So it's exactly the same on either side. Now you might be wondering, okay, so it's a villa, so it's a country estate, so this is where people lived and worked. Not exactly. I told you that the Venetians are partiers, and this was actually more of a party house. It was not for your everyday living, but for these grand galas and balls. When we look at the plan here, you see the perfect circles? You see the perfect squares? Oh, there they are. Yep, yep, yep. What about now? Whoa! We can even split this to the sides, and the dome correlates with the porch, and the entire proportions of the structure are within these ideas of a perfect circle and a perfect square. Now, we are going to go inside, but I need you to understand that the inside was not designed by Palladio. This was painted much later, after Palladio had finished. He would not have appreciated what's going on here. These were repainted in the 17th century and 18th century by the Capras. Surprise, surprise, the Capra family. So I need you to just ignore all of these elaborate figures and vines and flowers and bright colors. That would not have been something that Palladio would have been okay with. But I do like to show your attention to that spiral staircase. So the spiral staircase, it leads down and it leads up. And it leads up to this window here. Do you know what that window is? That's that gallery level. It's a gallery level where you can peek in on everybody and just think about it. You're gorgeous, you're rich, you're dripping in luxury, you're drunk on all this fantastic Italian wine, you're at this party thrown by these Venetians, and you're standing in this room, and then you look up and people are up there and they're looking down at you. Maybe you go up the spiral staircase and you're looking down and you're like gossiping. Oh, look at her, look at him. Oh. These are great corners like make out. It's just party central. It's exactly what the Venetians love. Now, while this is a great structure, it is not something that I put on your exam. So I'm going to be marking this as a bonus image, which is sad because I absolutely love Palladio.